MZ Talks Boxing comes to you by way of HW Weeks handcrafted candles. Their motto is relax and enjoy. And now to the show.
Y'all know what it is. MZ Talks Boxing.
Let me make this abundantly clear. We talk about boxing here. My opinion is winning, but if you ain't feeling then good on your boxing, yeah. It's been no headshot sting. So do these body blows that I bring. You wanted the big step to the ring. Let's go to the toe to the final bell ring. MZ Talks Boxing. Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of MZ Talks Boxing. I'm your host, MZ. Let's talk about it. It is now Monday morning, and the aftermath of boxing this weekend is over. Devin Haney retained his WBC lightweight championship belt, and Tank overcame Isaac Cruz in a tight fought decision last night. I'm going to dig right into it. Tank and Cruz put on what I call an entertaining fight. And I have to ring the sentiments of one of my favorite channels to listen to and their opinion. And that is that there were two levels of fighters in the ring last night when it came to Tank and Cruz. One fighter that was clearly ahead of the other fighter. Not to take anything away from Isaac Cruz, but I don't believe that he's on the same level as Tank. But I can say that giving him the eye test and him just being 23, I do believe that he will be champion at some point. And he may be a good champion and hold his belt for a while and cause trouble in that division in some time to come. But last night was not his time. And I believe if Tank hadn't have hurt his hand, which he did hurt his hand, and a lot of people are going to try to make that an excuse, which is not. When you get hurt, that's just a fact. That's just what it is. Tank handled his business, and a lot of people aren't happy about it. And that's okay. You know, usually when your fighter doesn't win, you're not happy about it. And that's also okay. But don't try to detract away from the young man and what he did, because he did what he was supposed to do, and that was to go out there and take a win. That also serves true for Devin Haney, who took care of his business as well against Jojo Diaz. A lot of people feel that, Haney doesn't have enough pop in his punches to stop anybody, yada, yada, nonsense. Because he has enough pop in his punches that he's winning fights. You don't see anybody just running through him. That's something you just don't see. So he's doing enough to make sure that nobody's beating him. And Tank did quite well enough last night to make sure that he didn't gain a loss. But that's neither here nor there. What I do want to say is, ladies and gentlemen, don't fall into the tap water conversation. And here's one of the fighters that's leading the tap water team, Ryan Garcia. Some of you guys call him King. I don't see that. I see more of not even the Prince. I don't know what the hell I see. I just see a big bucket of tap water that claims that he'll fight anybody and hasn't fought anyone or anything. People are giving him props and praise for something that he has not done yet. The last time I remember hearing anything from Ryan Garcia, he was having some kind of panic attack, a mental breakdown. The pressure was getting too much for him. Seemed like the doors and the walls were closing in on him because the fighters that he was talking all that noise to, some kind of way it seemed like they had started circling around him like sharks in the water. And Ryan was having none of that. So Ryan pulled out. And then we end up seeing Ryan on the beach getting into it with some guy, some regular Joe on the beach, slap boxing or whatever. And he got a couple of licks in on Ryan. So maybe Ryan had to go back to the gym and try to get that squared away. The other tap water guy, which I'm not going to even kick on T.O. Wise down because T.O.'s going through some problems. Now, a lot of people have made videos saying T.O. almost lost his life. He was fighting with air in his chest and his neck and all these different things. Haven't really quite heard of a doctor in that field say that's what was going on with T.O., but he did bring a doctor's note. So I guess I can call him lukewarm tap water because, we still got to figure out if this being the truth being told or somebody trying to pull the wool over our eyes. But anyway, when it came down to Tank fighting Isaac Cruz, I was quite entertained and satisfied with the fight. I hate the Tank hurt his hand because I believe, and this is my belief, and it's just an opinion, this is not fact, I believe that if Tank had not have hurt his hand, he would have ended up stopping Cruz somewhere in that fight. I did notice Cruz slowed down a little bit in the fight, and listening to them in their press conference, I do believe I heard Cruz mention that he noticed Tank had lost power in his left hand, which is the same hand that he hurt. But Tank was able to keep that jab pumping from the right hand, swinging uppercuts and hooks off of it. He went the whole 12th round, if I'm not mistaken, and not throwing that left hand at all. Can't say it's the most impressive thing I've seen, but when you're fighting and you're on a high level and you got somebody like Cruz coming at you, constantly applying pressure, then that is impressive. But like I said, I'm ringing the sentiments, La D, little sis. I appreciate you and your view on the situation. But yeah, there was a difference in the fighters that were in the ring last night, and Cruz is just not on Tank's level. I'm not going to say who Tank would take out when it comes to Devin Haney or the other kings, but I'm not going to even call them kings because Ryan Garcia, like I said, is not a king. He's not even a prince. He needs to start fighting. Your fan base are looking for you, Mr. Garcia. They just are. And until you start fighting competition like the people that you've been calling out, until then, you just Tap Water Garcia. The Tap Water name will be used by MZ to replace the word duck because duck has been used so much. Tap Water fits you a lot better. Now, as I said, I'm not here to kick anybody while they're down, so we're going to leave T.O. alone. But when it comes down to fighting, let me remember. Another Tap Water fighter that seems to be coming into the situation is George Kambosos. This boy is going backwards like a crawfish lately, saying he'll fight for undisputed and then coming up with excuses like, there's so many obstacles in the way. There are other fighters that I can fight that are much better than Devin Haney, much more lucrative. I don't know what's much more lucrative. You're screaming about money now. Every time these fighters want to start telling us about how much money it is, when just a few minutes ago you were talking about being undisputed. See how that works? So you've already acknowledged the fact that Devin Haney is the WBC champ and you are the franchise champ, which makes you not undisputed. These are words that came out of Kambosos' own mouth. Now you're bagging up and backpedaling to seem like dodge Devin Haney. But I understand these guys are doing this because they just want to hold the belt a little bit longer. No need to rush into a fight where you're not confident you can win. And I can understand that. But as long as you be real with yourself and with the people that pay and watch you fight, I think we'll all be able to get along a little better. Anyway, coming back down to the situations at hand, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask that you leave me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Leave me a comment. What do you think about Devin Haney and his fight Saturday and Tank Davis and his fight with Cruz Sunday, which was yesterday? That's right. Let me know how you feel, what you think, if you were satisfied with the fights. I don't really want to hear about Devin Haney doesn't have enough power to stop people because, like I said, he's boxing their ears off. He might not be boxing in some big, long, drawn-out situation where you say, oh, he had a master class, but let's be honest. The man is putting enough hands on people to keep them from trying to run through him. Remember, they said Floyd couldn't hit hard either. But yet and still, he had enough pop to keep people from trying to run through him. And it looks like Devin Haney is doing his own thing and holding his ground. Tank, I take my hat off to you. Devin, I take my hat off to you. Two young champions. With that being said, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Leave your comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Let me know how you feel, not only about the Tank fight and the Devin Haney fight, but also about the tap water fighters that are always claiming they'll fight people and then end up going in another direction. I'll fight anybody and then ends up fighting no one. With that being said, also, join me on Tuesday night around 8:30, where we talk about boxing, talk about things that happen in life, and we're going to start trying to spread it out and talk about other sports. We do that on Tuesdays around 8:30. We also listen to music that we make ourselves, so we won't have to get any copyright strikes. You guys come through, we kick it like a family party. Y'all know how it go. Like I said, if you've been here before, thank you for coming again, because you could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so we can notify when we drop more content. And with that being said, MZ's out of here. Peace!
Y'all know what it is. MZ Talks Boxing.
Let me make this abundantly clear. We talk about boxing here. My opinion is winning, but if you ain't feeling, then good on your boxing. Yeah, it's been no headshot sting. So do these body blows that I bring. You wanted the big step to the ring. Let's go to the toe to the final bell ring. MZ Talks Boxing.